Born into a world alive with the expectation of a coming Messiah, James the Greater was the son of Zebedee, a fisherman on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. He grew up alongside his brother John, both of whom would one day become central figures in the story of early Christianity. Raised in a Jewish household, James would have been familiar with the rhythms of daily prayer, the teachings of the Torah, and the bustling marketplaces of his hometown, likely Bethsaida or Capernaum. The world James inhabited was one of Roman occupation and religious longing, where rumors of prophets and teachers spread like wildfire, and every synagogue debate hinted at the hope of deliverance. James's early life was marked by the practical, demanding realities of the fishing trade. He learned to cast nets, mend boats, and read the weather on the Sea of Galilee. Yet something in James's heart was attuned to deeper questions. The stories tell us that his family was prosperous enough to employ hired hands, suggesting a degree of comfort, but it was not comfort that drew James away from his nets. It was a call, a voice that would change his life forever. The moment came in a way that was both ordinary and extraordinary. On an otherwise routine day, as James and John sat tending their fishing nets with their father Zebedee, a figure approached along the shoreline. It was Jesus of Nazareth, the teacher whose words had begun to stir the region. With simple authority, Jesus called out to them, inviting them to leave everything behind and follow him. The Gospel of Matthew records that immediately James and John left their boat and their father and followed Jesus. This moment marked the beginning of James's journey as a disciple, a journey of transformation, challenge, and ultimate faithfulness. As one of the 12 apostles, James quickly became part of Jesus' inner circle. Alongside Peter and his brother John, he witnessed some of the most pivotal moments in Jesus' ministry. This trio was present at the raising of Jairus' daughter, where Jesus demonstrated his power over death. They were with Jesus on the mountaintop during the Transfiguration, where his divine nature was revealed in dazzling light, and Moses and Elijah appeared beside him. James was also by Jesus' side in the Garden of Gethsemane, keeping vigil during those agonizing hours before the crucifixion. Throughout these years, James's character became more apparent. He was passionate, sometimes impulsive, earning the nickname Boanerges, or Sons of Thunder, along with his brother John. This fiery spirit is evident in the Gospel of Luke, where the brothers ask Jesus if they should call down fire from heaven upon a Samaritan village that refused to receive them. Jesus rebuked them, teaching that his way was not one of violence, but of compassion and forgiveness. Yet, this zeal would later become a channel for courage and conviction in spreading the good news. James's time with Jesus was marked by awe, confusion, and growth. He heard the Sermon on the Mount, saw the multiplication of loaves and fishes, and watched as the sick were healed and the outcast welcomed. He listened as Jesus spoke of the kingdom of God, forgiveness, and love of neighbor. Like the other disciples, James sometimes struggled to understand the true nature of Jesus' mission, often expecting political liberation while Jesus spoke of spiritual renewal. After the resurrection of Jesus, the apostles were sent out to the ends of the earth to preach and baptize. Tradition holds that James traveled west, becoming the first of the apostles to evangelize the Iberian Peninsula, the land that would one day be known as Spain. While the New Testament does not record these travels, early Christian writers and the faithful in Spain embraced the story of James's mission to their land. According to legend, James faced discouragement and difficulty, but was comforted by a miraculous apparition of the Virgin Mary, who appeared to him on the banks of the Ebro River in Zaragoza, encouraging him to continue his work. James's ministry was marked by miracles and steadfastness. Stories abound of healings, conversions, and the establishment of Christian communities. In Spain, he is remembered as Santiago, the bringer of the gospel, and his journey became the seed that would later blossom into a rich tradition of pilgrimage and devotion. The biblical account records that James's life culminated in martyrdom. In the book of Acts, we read that King Herod Agrippa I, seeking to suppress the early Christian movement, ordered James to be put to death by the sword. This made James the first of the apostles to be martyred, a testimony to his unwavering faith and courage. The year was around 44 AD, and James's death marked a turning point, inspiring the fledgling church to stand firm in the face of persecution. After his death, tradition tells us that James's disciples transported his remains back to Spain, burying them in a secret place to protect them from those who opposed the faith. Centuries later, according to legend, his tomb was rediscovered in the fields of Galicia in northwest Spain. There, a great shrine arose, the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, which became one of the most important pilgrimage destinations in the Christian world. The Feast of St. James is celebrated on July 25th. In Spain, this day is marked by vibrant festivals, processions, and the gathering of pilgrims who have walked the Camino de Santiago, the ancient route leading to his shrine. The pilgrimage itself is an act of devotion, reflection, and community, drawing people from all walks of life to journey together in search of spiritual renewal. The scallop shell, a symbol associated with St. James, adorns the backpacks of pilgrims, reminding them of the saint's journey and their own. Across the Christian world, St. James is venerated as the patron saint of pilgrims, travelers, and, especially in Spain, as the protector of the nation. The legendary Santiago Matamoros, St. James the Moor Slayer, emerged in medieval times as a symbol of hope during the Reconquista, the struggle to reclaim Spain from Moorish rule. While this image reflects the historical context of its time, today the focus has shifted back to James as a figure of faith, hospitality, and spiritual journey. Devotion to St. James extends far beyond the borders of Spain. In Latin America, brought by Spanish explorers and missionaries, his feast is celebrated with dances, music, and vibrant traditions, blending Christian reverence with indigenous cultures. In many parts of Europe, churches and chapels bear his name, and statues of the apostle, often depicted as a pilgrim with staff and hat, inspire the faithful to embark on their own journeys of faith. Different Christian denominations honor St. James in various ways. In the Roman Catholic Church, his feast is a solemnity in Spain, celebrated with masses, processions, and the famous swinging of the botafumero, a giant incense burner, in the Cathedral at Compostela. The Anglican Communion commemorates James as a witness to the resurrection and a model of apostolic zeal. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, James is remembered as one of the sons of thunder, celebrated for his close relationship with Christ and steadfast witness unto death. The Camino de Santiago, the way of St. James, remains an enduring testament to his legacy. For centuries, pilgrims have walked its winding paths, crossing mountains, forests, and valleys, seeking not only the tomb of the apostle, but also a deeper encounter with God, with themselves, and with others. The journey is both physical and spiritual, offering moments of solitude, friendship, challenge, and grace. Beliefs about St. James's intercession remain strong. Pilgrims and travelers pray for his protection, asking for safe passage and guidance. His image as a pilgrim himself speaks to the universal human experience of searching, journeying, and hoping for a destination that is both earthly and divine. In art and iconography, James is often depicted wearing a broad-brimmed hat, carrying a staff, and adorned with the scallop shell. These symbols speak to his association with pilgrimage and the road, inviting all who see them to consider their own life's journey. The traditions and practices surrounding St. James reflect a rich tapestry of faith, culture, and history. In Galicia, the sound of bagpipes echoes through the streets during his feast, while in Latin America, colorful dances and dramatic reenactments bring his story to life. In churches around the world, special prayers and liturgies honor his memory, drawing together communities in gratitude for his witness. Ultimately, the story of St. James the Greater is one of transformation. From fisherman to apostle, from disciple to martyr, from local preacher to patron saint of an entire nation, James's life invites us to listen for the call of Christ in our own lives, to step out in faith, and to journey with courage wherever that call may lead. His legacy endures in every step taken by pilgrims on the Camino, in every prayer uttered by travelers and seekers, and in the hearts of all who, like James, dare to leave behind the familiar in pursuit of a greater purpose.